beast. Now you're playing with power. Superpower.
So I've been holding off showcasing this for a while just for the pure fact of that when I bought it, I thought it was going to be a simple fix, but it turned out that what I had thought originally was going to be a simple fix was not a simple fix. And it involved, I threw everything at it. I tried, replacing some chips and, taking some of the major components off of it, and I just couldn't get the boards that I bought for it to work. But then I finally found a board that worked, and I finally got it working, and without further ado, this is my little showcase of my Nintendo Super System. And I got this probably about 2 years ago, pretty local to me. I believe I paid $275 for it, and the machine was working, but when I got it, you could turn it on, you would see the 3 games, and you could select through one of them, and all that would happen is it would go to a black screen, and you could kind of hear some sound effects and whatnot, and it just would not go further from there. So, considering this is a basically a Super Nintendo custom into an arcade board, I basically found that the PPU and the CPU on this are similar to ones on your everyday Super Nintendo. So I ended up swapping those between the two, and even with that, I don't know if it was the fact that when I did the swapping or whatnot, I didn't do a good job soldering, but it just didn't work out. But I have a board in here now. It's working great. The power supply has been replaced. I cleaned up the controllers here a little bit. You can see here that they had a little bit of cigarette burn here, but they're in fairly good shape. I mean, this one I basically just sanded down and used some Novus, and you still got this right here, but I can't really do much better than that because as I was sanding it, you could almost start to see the black of the controller if I got up really close, but you can't really see that. Anyways, let's pop this thing on and show you how it's working. The monitor in it actually looks pretty damn good. Didn't do a cap kit or anything, and I just adjusted the colors a little bit. Man, it looks weird through the camera, but as you can see, I have Super Mario World in here right now. I have a Super Nintendo Kart, which I'll explain here in a second, and Super Tennis. I actually took out F-Zero. But as you can see, it is actually working, which I am really happy about, and then the monitor itself looks great. Before it was kind of having like a haze, and the reason for that is I replaced the power supply with a switching power supply, and it had a switching power supply in there before, but it was more like a PC power supply, if that makes any sense. And the problem is there was a grounding issue, so I literally bridged the ground with the machine and the AC ground, and when I did that, the haze went away because everything was grounded again, and now it looks great. So we'll go back to the menu, and basically what this Super Nintendo card is basically a guy on the Claw forums made a Super Nintendo adapter to Super System adapter. And then when I go into this, you can go ahead and see that it is the SD2SNES. I thought that made the most sense because you get the most games out of it. And especially, you can play some of the crazier hacks like Super Road Blaster. Oops, I don't want to get into that. How do I start this up again? There we go. So, and you can play that, and that's a awesome game to play on this because you get it in the RGB, and the game itself just looks great. Show that that's working great. So that's literally working off of, it's literally a Super Nintendo is playing this right now. That's the amazing part. You're getting full FMV and sound effects and all that through the MSU hack. And you'd have to look more into that and how it's done, but some guy basically out there hacked a full, I don't know if it's MP3 or not, but it's working as you can hear the music off of a hacked chipset. So I don't know if that's not making any sense or not, but that's from my understanding. But yeah, the marquee's working. the machine itself is in overall good shape. I mean, the artwork's good. I mean, I have a little bit of peeling up here, but it's not anything terrible. I mean, this thing was sitting in a garage before I got it. That big black bar down there was completely rusted out. Yeah, we'll see if we can get the other side of the machine. It's kind of covered a little bit, but there's the other side of the machine. Like I said, it's in pretty damn good shape. And honestly, this one wasn't too much of a pain in the ass to get down the stairs, but I mean, these things are pretty uncommon, so I figure I'd just go ahead and show what I got. Let's see if we can get back to the main menu. I forget if we can or not. Oh, you know what? I don't think I can right this second. I think the time has to run out because it's on like I said, it's on like a free play, but the free play on this is a little goofy. But I mean, you get the picture. I mean, like I said, it's working great now. Like I said, there were a few mods I even had to do to the board just to give it a little bit more reliability. There were a few resistors I had to replace, and there was a mod specifically for the SD2SNES because with the SD2SNES, there's a reset pin that's held, and if it doesn't have the correct resistance, it doesn't start up. It gets like it's like fighting with the CPU to reset the signal to the Super Nintendo. So with that resistor in place, it works better. Or it doesn't work better. It works like what you would expect from a Super Nintendo. I guess the Super Nintendo and the Super System vary by that resistor and a few other parts, but it's easily added, and as you can see, it's working great. But yeah, that's basically what I just want to show you guys. Like I said, it's not every day you see one of these systems, and I'm extremely happy to have it in my collection with the SD2SNES because it gives it tons and tons of uses out of it, because I threw, like, you know, all the ROMs in the world on it. So just play a few seconds of this just to show you that it is working. It is really an awesome game to have for the arcade, though, because it plays just like Dragon's Lair and stuff like that, and Space Ace, so really fits the whole, you know, arcade feel. So yeah, there's that, and like I said, there's my Nintendo Super System, and thanks for watching.